Hi everyone. You are back again with the MCO talk with the career development team. So today it is our fourth and last topic with Hanie. Today's topic is empowering your personal tools. Before this, we have actually finished 3 sessions, and the 3 sessions are the first one was personal branding 101, and then we have number 2, creating the foundation of you as a brand, and the third one we had was designing your own personal brand. So I really hope that you have watched all of these the 3 last series, and if you haven't, you can always check it out on our YouTube channel in IMU Industry Partnership and Career Development Unit. So now we will begin with question number 1 on empowering your personal toolbox. Hanie, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. The first question is, what is the definition of personal toolbox in the context of personal branding?
Okay, thank you, Najwa. I find that our fourth session this time around, empowering your personal toolbox, to be a session where we put everything together in the context of personal branding. So coming to your question, personal toolbox. Now let's just talk a little bit about what toolbox is. Yeah. So a toolbox basically is a type of storage where you store all your tools for your jobs or for your projects. Or you may, or example, you have a car and you have a toolbox in the car. It consists of your spanner, screwdrivers, and all kinds of stuff inside that toolbox. And this toolbox, what you will do is that it stores everything inside there that you need for whatever that you're going to do. Now, this toolbox also, you carry your toolbox everywhere you go. So if you have a big toolbox, and then you carry it with both hands, example. But if it's a small toolbox where you have limited number of tools inside there, you still can carry it around, but it doesn't mean that all the tools that you require for heavier job is there. So you may need some help somewhere else. So let's set the setting on the toolbox first. But in this context of a toolbox in personal branding, it is actually a compilation of readily designed resources to help you to build, to sustain, and enhance your personal brand. Yeah, and you have all of this ready, and you place it in your toolbox. Okay. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, Hanie, since you already explained that in the toolbox that what we actually need, right? So yeah. My question now, what they supposed to have inside the toolbox in order for them to prepare themselves?
Sure. So coming back to the analogy of a physical toolbox where you put all your tools inside there, right? Similarly, inside this toolbox, it contains all the kind of tools that you need for your personal brand. You may have all kinds of stuff that may or may be useful for you. Sometimes they are good to have, or they are must have. Okay, but my suggestion is we need to start. We need to start somewhere to have all these tools inside this toolbox. My suggestion is this: there are a few items. Number one, a well-crafted and updated resume, preferably in a PDF format. Okay, so you need an updated resume inside that. So that's your tool number one. The next tool that I would like our participants to have is an online portfolio. Especially if, especially for those who have this creative mindset, you know, where they created something really beautiful, such as artwork, some write-ups. I know for a fact that some students, they blog, they're into photography and all that. So create an online portfolio as part of your tool for your toolbox. Yeah. The next one, I think very crucial, is a well-maintained and an updated LinkedIn profile. So this is the next tool that you must be able to pull out every time when it's required. Yeah. And the next one is a script. Not many people thought about writing down a script, especially when they go out for networking session. And usually when people ask you, so tell me about yourself, and we stumble. That is because we haven't written it down, so we need to be prepared. And my suggestion is that one of the key tools in this toolbox is to have a script to be used during networking session. Yeah. All right. So I've mentioned something about networking session. For those of us who are already working, when we go out for networking session, we usually carry a business card.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we say, hi, how are you? My name is Hanie. Here's my call card, and we give out a call card. But what about fresh graduates? The question that I always get asked is that, can we carry a call card? And my answer to this is yes, we can. And why not? Human beings very visual. Now, if you only extend your handshake, people don't really remember you. Because it's in a networking session, they might meet a lot of other people. But with a call card, it becomes an anchor to the connection, to the engagement. Now, I would like to take this engagement or connection one more layer above, is to have your LinkedIn QR code either embedded in your call card or you have it in your mobile phone. So when they say, okay, let's connect, and you can just, show up your QR code in your phone, and they scan, and you are automatically connected to each other on LinkedIn. And I think that's just a wonderful thing to do during networking session. It becomes a discussion point. Yeah, so I love it. Now let's see, the next tool, I think, which is quite crucial, is a list of a few choice topics of interest for quick chit chat, for quick conversation. They call it idling chat, but it's not really idle. This is like an icebreaker during networking session, so that you are not tongue-tied. People that go out for networking, and they just like, oh, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, so I don't talk about anything. So I have a few choice topics of discussion, something that you're passionate about. Your career aspiration, for example, as a student, you may have career aspiration, where do you want to work, what do you want to do, and have this written down. And last but not least, Doreen and Najwa, I think one of the other key things in this toolbox is to have love, desire, positivity to improve yourself. So you can't see the shape and size and color of love, desire, positivity, but you need to have this in your toolbox so that you can take care of yourself and be good to others. So I think it's just nicely wrapping up all these tools, and just, you know, when you need it, you open out your toolbox and you just pull out and say, hey, you know what, I have all of this and I want to share this with you. It can help me to help you. So there you go. So that is those are the basic stuff.
Thank you, Hanie, for the explanation. So now we know what should we have in our toolbox, right? So the next question for you is that why is it important to have this toolbox?
Sure. Okay. Well, let's put it this way. The analogy. I like to bring an analogy to this. Yeah. Say you have a car. You have a car, and as you drive on the highway, suddenly you busted one of the tires. If you don't have a toolbox to fix a flat tire, well, number one, of course, you need to know how to fix the flat tire first, how to change a flat tire. Even if you have a tool and don't know how to use it, then it's a bit different, yeah. It's kind of difficult. You just stare at the tire and don't know how to replace it. So number one, you need to know how to change the tire. And so in this context, you need to know how to utilize the tools inside your toolbox. Okay, so why is this toolbox important? Because if you don't have this toolbox, again, the analogy is you and your car with a busted tire. You still can change the flat tire, but you have to call, say, auto assist. You know, somebody else to come in. So you have to wait. Time wasted. You need to spend. By that time, it might be like a couple of hours gone. But with a toolbox that you know contains all the tools that you need, you don't have to wait for anyone else. You yourself can take charge over so-called changing your own flat tire, right? And the thing is about these so-called tools inside there is to help you. You know, it's to help you to be better at what you do. You take it out, you put it back, you take it out, look at it and ask, is this relevant? Shall I update my resume? I need to update my resume. I need to fine-tune my LinkedIn. And you can use this to upgrade yourself, you know, to have a better version of yourself. Example. I know, like Doreen, I saw quite a number of her pictures. Sorry, Doreen, I've been stalking your pictures for the past few days.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I saw quite a number of your pictures doing some training on how to write proper CD, for example. Yeah, I think you've done like gazillion of those sessions before. Now you and I both know that a well-defined, a well-crafted CV is so crucial, especially when a prospective employer wants to talk to you. So just imagine that this tool, aka one of your tools, aka the resume, is not ready. It's time wasted and such a lost opportunity. So you must make sure you have this, and that's why this is very important. Yeah. So there you go. A resume. One example. I also think that as we move along in our life, you know, starting from being a fresh grad to even where we are as a working adult. It's good to keep our own track of our own progress, and it helps you to create your success your success stories. You'll be able to articulate it well. You see your milestones, moving from one milestone to another over your progress, and it helps you to keep the storytelling alive. So how important? I think is very important, very high up there. Yeah, and just to be ready, and you have to make sure that it's updated. So that's the reason why I think it's important.
Okay.
Okay, Hanie. So basically, you have explained all the examples and so on. Okay, maybe you can actually briefly explain where can they actually seek for this skill in order for them to actually prepare their empowerment toolbox.
All right. So a toolbox is a toolbox is a toolbox, but your toolbox might be different than mine, simply because of our different needs. I think for IMU students, their first point of reference is to go to IMU Industry Partnership and Career Development Unit to ask for help.
Yes, definitely.
I think that will be the first point of reference, you know, get in touch with you, get in touch with Najwa. I'm very much advocating, you know, where the students go first by default, because all the resources and all the support services are already there, very ample. The only other thing is that they have to be comfortable in going to your unit and to ask for that help. Sometimes we're not quite sure. We don't know what we don't know. So I suppose to go to your unit would be the first point of reference. I hope that's okay.
Yes, sure.
The next one I would think is to build that confidence to approach your favorite influencers. You know, those influencers or those folks that you love reading about in terms of content, whether they are on LinkedIn, they're on Facebook, or some other social media, and look for mentors. Yeah, and look for mentors to guide you. Consider this is some of the skills as your lifelong learning skills. Yeah, and so you can learn through observation, read what they have written, observe how they behave, and see what sort of impact. Learn from it and ask questions. I think there's nothing wrong with this. It's just that to build that self-confidence to ask them all these questions, that takes another level. But hey, you know what? Just do it. The other resources that I think students can reach out to are the many resources online which are available nowadays. They can attend online courses. There's you know, those webinars and talks by so many companies, so many trainers. Some of these sessions, they're free. We have seen like so many free content. Example, I know that one of the online platform has been offering free sessions for the next 3 months. Example, so hundreds and thousands over free courses. How-to tips, example, how to create your pitch and all that. So those are available locally and international. Again, some of them are free, some of them are paid. So all these three point of reference are places where students can come and get themselves upskilled or gain that new knowledge.
Okay. Thank you, Hanie. I think that's quite clear. To recap, you can either come and see us, get in touch with your LinkedIn influencers, mentors, And like what Hanie just said, there's also a lot of online courses which are available nowadays, right? Yes. So okay, to proceed, the next question for you, Hanie, is how can the student empower and enhance their toolbox?
Okay, as I mentioned earlier, a toolbox is a toolbox is a toolbox. And there will also be differences between a toolbox and a great toolbox, depending on what you put inside there, right? So my first thought about this, Najwa, is treat the tools in the toolbox as work in progress. So today you started putting together all your tools, all the things that you need to want to put into this, but that's the first step, which is great. You know, just start doing, that's great. But treat the tools in this toolbox as a work in progress. You know, you check periodically on the content, on the relevancy of each of the tool, what is not relevant, what is not, and you also need to look at, example, your LinkedIn profile. When was the last time that you updated your LinkedIn profile? Was it a few months ago? Was it just last week? Have I added on the latest projects that I've completed last month? Is it appearing anywhere in my portfolio? Has it appeared in my resume? Has it appeared in my LinkedIn? So those kind of stuff. So treat it as work in progress. Take a look at it, check on it periodically, and try to decide what needs to be enhanced, what needs to be taken out, and all that. Now, I also like to think that this toolbox needs to have a boost. You know, it needs to have a boost, and this boost comes in a quote that I like to share. It comes from one of my favorite story, Franklin Covey, from the 7 Habits. So habit 7, it says sharpen the saw. Okay, so you need to sharpen the saw. Okay, so if you don't sharpen the saw, you keep on using it every single day, but you don't take time to sharpen it. You don't take time to take care of it, oil it, sharpen it, then it becomes blunt. So Franklin Covey's habit number 7 says, sharpen the saw. It means that preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have, which is you. Yeah, it means having a balanced program for self-renewal. Remember we talked about the love and all that earlier. Yeah, so this is where you need to create that meaningful, balanced program for your self-renewal, your self-rejuvenation. And I like to mention here that in habit 7, sharpen the saw, it mentions about the 4 areas in your life that you need to continuously look at it and sharpen it, so to speak. The 4 areas are your physical area. You need to take care of your physical being, your social and emotional, mental and spiritual. So sharpen the saw, making sure these items, these tools are in tip-top condition. It will boost your toolbox. It will empower you.
Yep.
Yeah, and we must never become too busy sewing, because it takes time to sharpen the saw. It takes time. It cannot be just like that.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense as well.
Yes, that does.
Yes, definitely. Okay, thank you, Hanie, for your explanation, and also we have learned a few steps on how to actually enhance our empowerment toolbox and how to make us different from others. So I think this will be the wrap-up session, and I think today will be our last session and also our wrap-up for the extended MCO digital talk with the Career Development Unit team. I would like to thank you, Hanie, for your time, for the series that we have cooperated together, and also my co-moderator, Najwa. So I hope the IMU students will benefit from all our series, and remember to stay connected with us in all our social media platforms with our LinkedIn, our IMU Career Development Facebook, and also don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. So if you need any questions or do you have anything to ask or you would like to stay connected with us, do stay tuned with our social media platform. So see you again. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.